Hi, I'm Noreen. This is NC Woodworking. Welcome to the workshop. I'm going to try not to make you feel sick, but this is what I'm dealing with today. These are the two boards that I'm trying to glue together to make a very, very big shelf. So they're about 3.5 meters long, around 138 inches. Put together about 330 millimeters, or around 13 inches. The thickness, about 43 millimeters, around an inch and 5/8. Now, they've already been over the jointer, through the planer, and the glue line is not very good. Now, trying to manhandle such big boards, you know, it's very difficult. So I know that they're not square, and they're definitely not parallel with each other. As you can see, I've used clamps on either end to hold them tight together, and my hope is that by using the fest tool and my Quangsheng 5.5 is to refine the joint to get a very, very good glue line. Now, in the pinned comment below, I'll post a link to the unboxing of my Quangsheng 5.5 if you're interested to check it out. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's make some noise. Okay, this isn't working very well. I'm making more smoke than cuts, so I'm gonna try and do it in two passes. So about 22 millimeters first pass, and then the second one full depth. Okay, let's go to 45 millimeters. Okay. I'm gonna have to release this clamp. Almost got kickback here. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a problem because I've had to plunge the fest tool. Okay, we'll go again. It didn't work very well. I'll just have to do another cut because the boards were held together by the clamps on the end. It created some problems. So I'm just gonna hold the outside board with my hand. Again, 25 millimeters, then full depth. I should probably mention that without the riving knife on that first attempt, that would have been a very nasty kickback. You'll see I still got some gaps, so I will definitely have to use my Quangsheng 5.5 to refine this joint further. Still, I have a bit of a lip on this board, and that's why it's not closing in. The little kickback I had earlier, it left some marks. I'm gonna just remove the festool straight edge out of the equation, and I'll get you in a bit closer to show you exactly what's happening. And also why it might be a good idea to use a hand plane to refine your joints. Power tools are great, but sometimes there's no better way to refine a joint if you want than a hand plane. Again, I'll try not to shake you too much. This is what happened when I had the kickback. A slight burn mark here, nothing serious. And here I hope you can see the lip. Okay. Well, let's try and refine this joint. I got my Quangsheng 5.5 now. Excuse the very sort of wide shot here, but in order to see this big board, in its entirety, and so that I can maybe show you what I'm attempting to do a little bit better. That's what the director decided to go with. So I have to clean up this lip. Just gonna go a little bit quicker, and then I'll try to explain what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna take the bulk off, then I'm gonna try and get a very long shaving. I'm gonna check with the square to see exactly what's happening. But after I clean the bulk of it, I'm gonna put the boards together to see what kind of joint line we have. As you can see, I'm planing, and then towards the end, I'm lifting the plane off the board. Very nice shaving. I will try to show you what surface I get from the hand plane compared to the Festool. Although I was using a very sort of extra fine 48 tooth blade, it still left the surface rough. Now slowly I'm going to go longer and longer with the strokes. There we go. Almost full width shaving, but I can still feel a slight lip here. So I've just moved the plane more to the high side. And now I'm gently bringing it back into the middle of the board. A little more. I'll just keep there. Another little mark from the Festool here. Now, if anything, I'm not trying to remove too much material off the ends. I'd rather have a very, very slight hollow to create a sprung joint if you want. Okay, one more just from a little bit further back. Very nice sharp blade. Some very nice full width shaving. If you want to see how I sharpen my blades, I'll put a video in the pinned comment below. Okay, maybe we check it quickly. I don't want to remove too much material. No way I can put it back, but I can always remove more. It looks like I need to remove more material from this area. I'm trying not to move the camera around too much, because I know I will make you feel sick. Let's put this back in the vise. Check it with a square. I'll check both boards, but it seems like this side of the board, so what was on the bench, is a little bit unsquare. It's not a lot, but I can see light on this side. Let me check this one. Now, this one is pretty good actually. Very little. Now, I'm not entirely sure how straight it is, but it's definitely squarer than this. So I need to focus my attention on this half of this board. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll check back a bit later to show you the progress I've made. It's only been a few minutes and a few shavings. I've got the narrower board square. I already have a much better joint line. Still slightly gappy here. But now I'm going to take the wider board, work on that a little bit. I may need a couple of more passes. If you remember the area I was saying on this side, on the right hand side as we're looking now, to create a slight hollow in the middle. I'm going to try and work in the same area where I've had the boards touching for a bit. So I'm starting with a short stroke. I may be planing against the grain a little bit, but I'm going to have to try and spin this around. Well, this was fun. I'm taking a slightly heavier shaving that I would like. There we go, thinner shavings now. Now I'd rather spin this smaller one around. Much better. I have a slight gap here in the middle. I'm not closing on this side now. Now the Quangsheng. Lift the heel of the plane. Just stops the plane cutting. Skipping a little bit, so I have created a slight hollow here. I'll just make a longer stroke now. Lift the heel of the plane. Check again. Still a gap on this side. Maybe I'm planing a little bit out of square, but this side's already looking better. You see the gap? Slight hand pressure, and it's closing the joint line. Let me try to show you how to identify high spot on a board. I've got an aluminium straight edge. Move it back and forth a few times on the board, and let me show you what's happening. See the high spot there? This is where the dip is from the planer, the snipe. Let's get rid of those high spots. I hope you saw. Let's skip. Still a big hollow here. Then check progress again. Yeah, the high spot moved here now. Slightly longer stroke. Check again. Much better. Still a little bit here. Well, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to make you watch all this. Keep chasing the high spots. Still up in the air a little bit. By the time I put a little bit of pressure down, it closes up the joint nicely. And I've also checked with a straight edge. That's all there is to this. Just keep chasing the high spots with your hand plane. Much more control, quiet, straight out of the joint. I just don't get the joints I like. Use my Quangsheng 5.5, my standing number 4. Now I'm just going to go for a long pass all the way across. Let me try and show you that. It's a fairly heavy shaving. I'm trying to force it. I'm going to take just a lighter shaving now. One end to the other. I'm not trying to remove too much material. That's already looking much better. One more pass on this, then a few long passes on the narrower board. An hour and a half. Some shavings, nice and quiet, music in my ears. Do you want to know what kind of fancy glue spreader I'm using? These guys, they're always on me, easy to clean. Hey, look at this. My glue spreader is all cleaned up. Lovely, hardly any pressure on the clamps, and I'm getting squeeze out both sides. That's why I'm using the hand plane to refine the joint. Make sure I don't have to put too much clamping pressure and still get a good glue up. I've got a ton of clamps on. You probably notice one up, one down to try and even out the pressure on the shelf. And they're I've tried to line them up to where the dominoes are. So every 300 millimeters a clamp. I've tried to keep the pressure as even as possible. Good glue squeeze out all the way along. I hope there's glue left in the joint now. Oh, I don't know. Do I even attempt this? Maybe. Do you want to have a laugh? Whoa, this is not fun. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, that's pretty good. Nice and flat. No cups, no nothing because of the clamping pressure. We're looking really good. I'm very pleased with this. I hope you have a great week making things. I'll catch you next Friday. Bye for now.